Hello and welcome to this edition of Big Fish Small Pod for Tuesday, May 30th, 2023. We are recording this on Memorial Day, so hope you guys had a great Memorial Day after Marlins are on an off day yesterday. But for everything here on Small Pod, I'm Daniel Rodriguez, your host, and I have a guest here with me today coming from a big vacation trip. Learning experience at Jacksonville. We have Mr. Kevin Barral. Kevin, how was Jacksonville?
It was great. It was great. Thank you for having me on. I'm excited. Yeah, there was a nice 2 days. I mean, can't complain. So excited to get back into the Marlins side of things, the big league team, and yeah, a lot to take away from those 2 days.
Yeah, we're gonna go deep dive here on that. This is gonna be mainly this episode specifically on the AAA team, on the minor league team down there on the farm in Jacksonville. But tell us what really stood out to you there. What did you learn from the team there in Jacksonville? Maybe any news that people should know of.
Well, the first news is obviously Jesus Sanchez. I reported that on Friday at the end of the game that Saturday, that he would be playing his final rehab game on Sunday, which he did, and he is expected to join the Marlins on Tuesday, which is I guess today, or today for the ones listening, tomorrow for us. And then that one, I mean, he was a part of a triple play, and then he hit a homer on that Sunday game.
Battle with a couple of tumors. The pitch to Sanchez. High drive, deep to right. Forget it. This is way out of here. Top of the bleachers. Jesus Sanchez has left the yard. And Jacksonville grabs a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first.
Just looking then at, the prospects themselves, I think the most evident one, the best one those last 2 days was Jacob Amaya. Just look at his month of May, and I'm going to read out the stats. 418, 481, 746, 1.227 with 5 home runs, 16 RBIs. He had a grand slam on Saturday. He's looked real good. It was a 2-homer game for Amaya, by the way, a multi-hit game. He's looked good. He's been very patient at the plate. He's been pretty good. I mean, I was talking to him, and he talked to me about being more of a late bloomer in terms of how the season was going, that he's a guy who really gets going a little bit into the season, and that's what happened to him this time around. He really wasn't good in the first month of the season, and since May on, he's been arguably the best hitter in the Marlins minor league system, aside from maybe a couple double-A guys. But if you're looking at Amaya, he's definitely someone who probably has a chance to make the big league squad. I think he has a really, really good chance to do it. Wendell isn't playing well at all. And besides that, it's either Birdie or Hampson who will be manning shortstop for you. So if you want a guy right now who's going to help you, Jacob Amaya, who's gotten the Miguel Rojas comparison with a better bat, that's how I see it, and I think it's the best way to put it. Aside from that, really, Jake Mangum looked good. On an unrelated note, Jeff Lindgren pitched a very nice game on Friday, but he's not going to make it up anytime soon. Austin Allen impressed me yesterday. I mean, not only did he have 3 hits and an RBI, he looked great behind the plate, threw out a couple runners. He was a part of that triple play. So there was that. Jake Mangum looked real good. He had a homer in that second game. He had a triple in the first game. I mean, it's a lot to take away. A lot of very impressive guys. But those were really the main players I looked out for. Obviously, Gerard was there. He hit a homer. So, yeah, you look at it, and it's really just the offense that you look at. The bats is what it really impresses for AAA. The pitching itself isn't nothing out of the ordinary. Just a lot to take away from. Archie Bradley's also there. He's very happy to have a job in the major leagues. I mean, he hit 96 in his last start. He told me he feels really happy about his velo, and hopefully Miami gives him a chance soon enough. So, yeah, I mean, besides that, not much else to take away. I guess it's a lot, but yeah, I mean, AAA is a fun level when it comes to the bats, not so much for the pitching, but it was a good weekend.
Yeah, I was looking at one game there that you mentioned where Amaya had a big showcase, was that 20-4 win against Charlotte on Saturday. I wanted to go maybe more into that, maybe what it really says about the Marlins in terms of maybe hitting wise in AAA. Just how impressed were you there looking at maybe the hitters in Jacksonville? You had Burdick, who was just coming down, had a pretty good game. You have Groshans, but maybe tell us more on maybe some guys that have yet been able to make the majors really this season. Guys like Mangum, guys like Groshans, and really maybe Austin Allen. Is that also someone you see can maybe be called up sooner rather than later?
I think that's the name we have to look at right now. Austin Allen. I mean, I wish he'd played that game on Friday, but he looked really good on Saturday. I mean, 3 hits, did everything he had to do behind the plate. He's been good. He's been consistent as of late, very, very much as of late. I mean, we saw, I think it was like an 0 for 40 streak or something in that first couple months of the season, that first month of the season or so. But he's really been able to get it going. So I'm very happy for him. And then, yeah, you said it. There's guys in that level that really do deserve to be up in the big leagues. And I'm mainly looking at Jacob Amaya and Jake Mangum, who, I mean, when you look at it, they traded for Jonathan Davis and they put him up over Mangum. And Mangum overall is the better hitter, I would say. And I know Davis has been impressive, but I think what really set aside Mangum and Davis is that Davis is the better defender. And you could probably say that. But Mangum has looked really good. And it was very, very windy in Jacksonville the 2 days I was there. Very cold and very windy. And Mangum was able to play center field with no issues.
Liner in the air to center. Mangum back over his right shoulder on the run. Reaches up, snares it for the out. Perez scampers back to first. Nice play by Jake Mangum.
Just look at Jacob Amaya, Jake Mangum, and probably Peyton Burdick, who shouldn't have been called down, who shouldn't have been sent down in the first place. I think he should have stayed, and whatever. I mean, he's proving them wrong right now with how well he's been playing.
Yeah. And also going into it with Jesus Sanchez making his return fairly soon. Just how do you see it working up in the majors? Who do you see going down? Is it someone like Garrett Hampson, Xavier Edwards? Is Jonathan Davis making a case now to stay on the roster after this hot start on the road? How do you see that? Because it's really a lot of just options that the Marlins can go for, and with fans and us here at Fish on First, it really maybe divide some people in terms of what they do.
Yeah, it's a hard decision, but I mean, you look at it, Hampson has kind of come down to earth in a way. I know he provides the versatility basically everywhere, but you have that with John Birdie. Xavier Edwards has been able to do that. So I think Eli mentioned it, that probably best just to send down Hampson. I think he has a minor league option. Obviously, you could just, no, he doesn't even have the service time to do that. So yeah, it would have to be Hampson. I mean, I like Edwards. I think he's had a nice go at the big leagues. I mean, obviously he doesn't get that much playing time, but when he does, he's been good. No real complaints from my end there. And Jonathan Davis, I find it hard that they would DFA him so early into his Marlins tenure. So, and he has been good, and he's made the case to stay. But honestly, I'm not buying what he's doing right now. And respect to him, he's been killing it thus far. But I don't think what he's doing is sustainable. He was in Coors Field. He was in some nice ballparks that have helped him out. And I think once he comes to the Lone Depot, we're going to see the Jonathan Davis we thought we were going to get when they traded for him, to be honest with you. And which is why I think they should have called up Mangum over him. And, you know, it's fine. And then, as you mentioned, Jesus Sanchez, he looked good. We'll just see what happens then.
Yeah, and the last thing, I want to go back to Jacksonville. Tell us a little more about the trip on your wise, going there, doing Jacksonville. Tell us a little more about that. I'm sure people would like to know your trip to Jacksonville, how it went, and maybe a little more on maybe the players you saw that maybe are a little more under the radar. And also, how's Victor Mesa doing?
I saw Victor Mesa. He made one appearance in the game. He got hit by a pitch, and when Amaya hit the homer, he was basically walking the home base. He was a super small jog. Amaya almost passed him, which would have been an out. And luckily Amaya, I guess, realized what he was, how slow Victor was moving. So yeah, no, besides that, the trip was great. I mean, I know he will be watching this. I'm fairly certain him and his whole staff will be watching. But Scott Kornberg, amazing human, super welcoming, super accommodating. He helped us out with anything I needed, anything Giordano Carmona, Pelota Cubana needed. I mean, he was a phenomenal human. I'm wishing him the best of success, because what he does over there is the job he does for Jacksonville, is just amazing. He deserves it. They're photographers. They got a photo of me. Didn't even realize that until yesterday. They're in their social media. Like, girls, great. I mean, they're all great. I mean, I those guys work hard, and what they're doing and the content that they put out is truly, big league type stuff. So I wish them the best. And as for me, I mean, Underrated guys. Brian Miller. Brian Miller, I would say, is underrated. He made his debut in 2021. I want to say against when they traded Marte. Yeah, 2021 against the Yankees. He was sent right back down to AAA. So unfortunately, he didn't see much action. But besides that, Anthony Maldonado is a nice name to look at. Austin Allen, I think, is another underrated name. I'm going to keep mentioning him because I do like what I saw from him in that one game and what he's been doing as of late. And just keep going down the roster. I mean, Gerard is another nice name to look at. Really, that's about it. There's not much to look at in terms of the quality on the team. I like what I saw from Charles LeBlanc this time around. Joe Rizzo didn't play. He's in AAA, by the way. I like what I saw from LeBlanc. Good stuff. He had a grand slam, too. There's 2 grand slams in the game, and he was part of one of them. So, yeah, I mean, it's a level that's really hard to look at sometimes, just with the type of players that you have. But you have Amaya there, who's good. Mangum, who, making the push, for at least I want to bring him up next time in the midseason update when we do it for the Fish on First top 30 prospects. So, we'll see what happens. But a lot of guys on that level. Very nice trip. Everything worked out how we wanted, got who I needed, and I mean, you'll see content on Fish on First. And we're pumping it out there. We're pumping it out to as many places as possible. So just stay tuned.
Yeah, sounded like a great trip. That's going to do it for this episode of Big Fish, Small Pod. Kevin, I want to thank you again for coming on. See everyone soon. Kevin and I will be doing the game tomorrow. Again, Kevin, thank you. And Big Fish, Small Pod, and always go fish.